Hey everyone, I'd like to share my portfolio strategy. It's going to be centered around big data, and I'm going to explain why and briefly a few of my top holdings. So first off, 2023 has been a great year. If you're a growth investor, you've probably done well. I know personally I'm up 80% year to date heading into December. And while the S&P 500 has also done well, up 20% in 2023. 2022 was a good lesson. The lesson I personally learned was to stay long on growth stocks. Don't panic. Double down, dollar cost average on the companies you believe in long term, as long as the thesis is still there. And 2024, I'm also very bullish on. So let me go into further my strategy. First off, let me address diversification. My portfolio is highly concentrated, but most people should be in the S&P 500. Now I'm trying to outperform the S&P 500 like I have, and I'm hope to continue. So uh, if you're investing in individual stocks, like you probably are, is why you're watching this video. You just have to have the discipline, the skill set, and stay up to date with your current companies on the current events and news. So aside from that, everyone else should be in the S&P 500 index fund. Also, it's important as a time horizon. So I'm actually bullish on the short and long term because I think we're in that cycle. Next year, we're expected rate cuts. Um, Rate cuts will usually growth stocks will outperform in that environment. So I'm very high in growth stocks going into 2024. So let me uh, I will show my biggest holdings and briefly talk about them. So why big data? First off, it's the easiest money for the biggest reward. That's the way I like to put it. So I don't like to take stupid risks where I am in a company where I might lose money, or at least there's a good chance, a high enough chance where I could lose money. I don't like to take those kind of risks. I just take a step at a time, trying to get victory after victory, but small steps to get to the bigger goal. So this is what I believe will be my centered thesis with my investments. In the past, they have outperformed just like 2023, but even before that, these stocks. And my thesis is that they'll continue to outperform. So big data is needed for artificial intelligence. This is a key point. 2023 has been really a start of a growth engine of artificial intelligence. Well, artificial intelligence doesn't exist without data. So this is why it's been an important theme. Now, my biggest holding, I'll start off, is NVIDIA. Now, this was my biggest holding before the year. It's run up 200 and something percent this year, and I think it'll continue. So I'm not sticking. I'm not selling yet. I'm sticking with it. I actually added a few months ago, and I'm up 20% from the investments from my investment in Nvidia a few weeks ago. But I was buying this stock. I'm up about 400 something percent in this stock currently from when I initially started investing in Nvidia back in 2020 for the same reasons for artificial intelligence. So I'm briefly going to discuss overall reasons why, the biggest reasons why, without getting too much detail. Semiconductors are needed for everything tech, every innovation. Semiconductors are needed, and NVIDIA is the leader by far. So there's no competitors even close to NVIDIA. I mean, there's like AMD and probably Broadcom, which are far second and third. They're not close. This will take a lot of time for them to catch up. There's a huge demand right now with chips, and people are buying as much NVIDIA chips as they're making. And there's going to be a macro trend also with chips. So all data runs through NVIDIA chips right now. And so there's a lot of future growth trends I'm bullish on. One of them is autonomous driving. I've been bullish for a while. I made a video about that a few years ago. And also, I'm seeing a lot of breakthroughs, current almost breakthroughs with medicine. So I believe it's going to be huge with genomics, uh, autonomous driving. I could go on and on, but my next stock, all right, Tesla. So this is two. I have three stocks that are my biggest current positions. This is my second Tesla, and briefly explain why. No one's close to Tesla as far as automakers go, with electric vehicles and also collecting data for self-driving. So at this point, it's looking more and more that Tesla's running away with the self-driving, which I believe 2024 we could see a big breakthrough with self-driving. I know eventually we will. I'm very confident on that. So it's just a matter of time. And in the short term, I believe the stock will hold up good because of its domination with electric vehicles. Um, the EV trend, the macro trend for EVs is still growing. They're going to be buying Teslas because there's really not that much competition. But that's going to grow itself. Just I believe about 9% of the U.S. population right now drives an electric vehicle. That's going to keep going up. Soon it looks like it'll be 100 eventually, but little by little that's going up, and Tesla's dominating. Also, I want to point out energy storage with Tesla. So that's a segment that's growing rapidly as well. And Tesla has a good ecosystem going on. So they have it. So there's Tesla Solar. You buy a roof. You build your house. Now going forward, more and more houses will be built upon roofs that are solar panels. They look exactly like the shingles, I guess you call them, the tiles on top of your roof, except they're going to have solar panels in them built in that are not visible. They're a lot better looking than the current solar panels people put on top of their roofs. So that's part of the ecosystem. And then Tesla has the power wall, um, where they store the data. So I'm sorry, not data, electricity or the power. So it stores in case there's an outage that kicks in, like a generator, and this will run your house at night. And you can have the electric vehicle, so it'll be parked in your garage, and that's going to charge your electric vehicle when you're home. So this is kind of reminds me of Apple, how there's a whole ecosystem going on, and Tesla's taking full advantage of this. It's working well, and they also have um, the electric vehicle charging units everywhere, which all the brands are buying, are adapting to the Tesla's charging stations. One important thing I want to point out too, that in with self-driving, is that what they do is they collect data, and then their software eventually, when they're at a higher level of self-driving, they're going to sell their self-driving software to all the rest of the companies like GM, Ford. So these companies are going to buy Tesla self-driving because they don't want to invest billions and billions of dollars into self-driving that's going to take years and years and years for it to come through, if they can easily, more economically, just purchase Tesla's software within their cars. And I'm very confident this is what will happen. All right, so my last of the big three positions I currently hold in my portfolio is Google. So I believe that that the amount of big data that Google has is one of the top of all the big tech companies that they hold. I believe Microsoft and Amazon are also up there. So they have such a monopoly with search, where um, people thought that when ChatGPT came out, that Bing was going to take over or take share from Google. It didn't happen. People love Google, love the products, are loyal to their search engine, particularly. And I see this domination continuing. I don't see a threat right now, even though some people think there is. I don't see it that way. And what's important now is that it's trading at a lower valuation compared to the other big tech peers. So I believe right now it's trading at like a 22-21 forward PE ratio, which is pretty conservative. So that's one of the reasons why currently it's one of my big three in my portfolio. I believe it's a safe stock, and has so many catalysts. So they have Waymo for self-driving. They have the Google Cloud, which I think will do well. They have the Google TV now that's getting popular. So in Google with artificial intelligence, they have DeepMinds. So I think eventually they're going to have a good breakthrough. Right now, it's not really priced in that they're a top AI stock. I think eventually the market will be proved wrong, and Google will have a place in artificial intelligence, which will increase the multiples. So this is the reasons why Google's my big three in my portfolio currently right now. So I just want to touch up on allocation right now. So I said that those three are concentrated in my portfolio: NVIDIA, Tesla, Google. I believe they will continue to outperform. But I want to say that this is my base allocation, right? So I'm going to make adjustments as I go. A year ago, this wasn't my big three. NVIDIA was, but I adjust about quarterly, or if there's significant events, something significant happens where I know I need to sell the stock or purchase another stock, a better opportunity, I will do that. But I stay disciplined along the process. So what I'll say is that the other 25% of my portfolio is kind of diversified, but it is across heavily big tech as well. Like United Health, which I believe has a monopoly in health. I believe they are growing a lot with urgent care units with Optum. It's called the name of it is, and then also the Medicare Advantage plans. So there's macro trends where this is going to continue to grow. They're like the Apple of healthcare. Microsoft, all right, another big tech, another domination in their office products and artificial intelligence. Amazon, so many ways they can grow. Right now it's AWS, it's advertising, e-commerce. That's all growing. It's macro trends are going to continue growing. Keeping that as part of my portfolio. CrowdStrike's been on a tear lately. This has been in my portfolio since for the last couple of years now, I believe. So I believe everyone's portfolio should have some sort of cybersecurity allocation in it. And as far as small caps go, a lot of people are high on small caps going into 2024. My thesis with small caps is that yes, there's going to be some small caps that will do better than big tech. However, it's harder to pick out a small cap stock that will outperform than it is easier to just choose a big tech stock that will do well. So if I see any good small caps, I will add to them. I mean, currently I was able to buy Dutch Bros low at $23 and $25. Etsy I'm in, Shopify I'm in. I'm holding those. I'm not adding to those positions. And that's all I have for small cap, I believe. If you want to call them CrowdStrike, and they're about medium. But that's where I'm at. And as I look for opportunities, I'll make adjustments with this portfolio. But this is where I'm at. So thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to help out the algorithm. And I'll continue making videos.